Hey, my name is Tom. I just recently returned from a year of formation in Loppiano, where I was doing Gen School with the Focolare movement in a town called Loppiano in Tuscany, sort of central Italy. The school is a school of formation in the movement as a young person. So I'm a Gen. A Gen is someone who tries to bring Jesus to the world, like Mary, to give Jesus to the world. So the School of Formation was a school of living in community with these young men and women who all believed in a united world. I lived in a unit with about, there was 13 boys in the school and like 24-ish girls. It was quite a small school this year, normally it's bigger. But so I'd live with the boys in a unit of 6 guys, and we'd share the cooking and rotate who did the cooking, and the cleaning as well. We had one person responsible for each of those things. We worked together, we studied together, and most importantly, we tried to live for eternity together with each other, which wasn't always easy, but that's why we were there. The highlights were the interactions with the people. With these people, my brothers, changed my life completely, and I'm forever in debt to them for that. I love them so much. At the end of the experience, I remember being huddled in a circle with each of them. We're all linked arms, and none of us wanted to be the first to leave that circle. We were there for maybe 20 minutes or so, and I remember really being ready to die for each one of them. It was so strong, that experience. I think the school is a school of learning to die to yourself and to the other person, and that was quite amazing. So we had daily mass, which was a whole new experience for me. It was a bit of a challenge at first, because like I would normally go to mass every Sunday kind of thing, and then in the week it's bye-bye mass, which isn't so great. But over there, it became the focal point of the whole experience, I think, going to mass each day. The experience there really challenged my faith too. At times, like it would raise questions like, why am I here? Why do I believe in God even? It challenged my previous understandings, but that was great because it meant that I wanted to find the answers, and it pushed me to deepen that. We would wake up and we'd have meditation every morning, and then we'd do some classes, or we'd have like a guest speaker, some lectures on maybe, for example, church history or the youth catechism, or we also did the Focolare spirituality a lot, so many different things. And then we'd have our lunch, we'd be making our lunch, then we'd go to work in different places. So for example, I was working in a factory where we'd package things for like a third party, but there was people working in ceramics, in the gardens sometimes, all over the place. So there was different works that you could do. There was a pre-synod for the Synod on Faith, Youth and Vocation, I think it was. And it was the first time in history that young people had been asked by the church like their thoughts and opinions on the church, on where it's going, where we are right now, which was so amazing. So the Focolare was called up and asked if they'd like to take care of all the meditations and the music. For me, I'm not a singer at all, but and I was really hoping maybe I could be a part of it, and they didn't ask me, and I was like, oh, that's okay, that's all right. But then a couple of days later, one of the guys, Ciro his name was, he came up and he said, look, we'd really like someone to come and, like an extra person to come and sing, someone quite energetic. And I was like, and so I felt such an honor to go there and to take part in that. And we, all these young people from around the world were there. They're interdenominational, interreligious, not just Catholics. It was across the board. The Pope wanted to have everybody's words, everyone's say. And they put together this document. We were providing all the meditation and music for that. So we weren't directly involved in the writing, but in the facilitating of them writing that document. And then we were lucky enough to carry the palms in the Vatican Square, and as they gave the document over to the Pope on Palm Sunday. So that was quite a special experience for some of us who were able to go there and to be part of that and what the young people in the church are doing. Yeah, I think for a lot of us, we went and had to go beyond the walls that surrounded our hearts to reach out to the other person. So that meant kind of stopping and listening to what they had to say. And once we were able to do that in something called a colloquio, which is when you have like a one-on-one deep talk, you lay all your cards on the table. What the other person has to say can actually change your life too so much, because maybe then hearing what they had to say gives you the courage also to share something that you've never shared with anyone in your life before, that is been like a big burden, like a cross that you've been carrying. And once you've shared it, it's the first step, I think, to carrying that cross and lifting it up, you know, and not being burdened down by it, but together going forward. I think that was probably the most beautiful experience of the love that we had for each other, to be able to break down our walls and to carry each other. Yeah. We would do this thing called the moment of truth, which is when you put all, which is when you share with the people in your unit, your brothers, something positive about them and something negative about them, which so something that they are really struggling with, something that they can improve on in their life, that they don't do well maybe, and something that they do beautifully, that is a gift, a talent to them. And that was the hardest thing, probably one of the hardest things for me to get my head around, how I can tell someone what they can improve on, because for me that just doesn't work. I don't want to say that to someone. But then in the moment when it was happening, I realized that how much I wanted that person the good for that person, how much I loved that person, and it was easy, the words just came out. So that was quite a special experience. And I learned a lot about myself from that. Because you realise how much, you want the other person to become a better person. Yeah, so before going, I wrote this list on the plane. Actually, I was a bit last minute. I was like, I better write something down for what I want to do. I had it in my mind, but I thought it's more concrete if I put it down on paper. So I wrote down this list of things, which one of them was to deepen, of course, my relationship with God. I also really wanted to discover what my vocation was. I felt like I was maybe being called to a religious life. I wasn't sure, or to marriage, and I wanted to know. There was a couple of other things too, like personal struggles that I was dealing with that I wanted to overcome, and my brothers helped me with that. But when I was there, I realized, for example, that it was incredible. A guy randomly came into Lopiano, and he was like an angel in the sense that he just disappeared the next day, like a messenger from God, because I had just told my friend the day before that I really was trying to understand like my vocation and stuff and what I should do. And the next day he just arrives randomly, and we have dinner with him, and he told me something really important, which was, he said, the most important thing is to serve. It doesn't matter then if you don't know what you're doing next, or if you just serve and live your life in service, everything will come through step by step. You live the present moment, and that was really beautiful. That was really nice. Yeah. So for the movement, I would love to see this new revolution of love, I suppose. We have a song called Gen Revolution, which is about that. But and I think it's slowly happening, this revolution, and to go beyond and into the peripheries, where to the margins of society, and to have the movement present there. And for me personally, I think I really want to live each moment by moment, and never to forget what I learnt over there, but to live that and to give that to the people around me. And then hopefully I will find and end up doing what God wants me to be doing in my life, because I'm not sure what that is yet, but I think if I can do that, then hopefully I'll find out. Yeah. If anyone's considering going to Gen School, I would say first of all, really think about it, why you want to do it, and have a talk with God about it, because it's not just a decision to make willy-nilly, like, I want to go to Gen School, I'll go. That's the first thing, I think, to have a talk with God. And the second thing, be ready to leave the things you have at home behind, maybe your work, maybe your studies, to take this time away and to live it completely to the full. And then the third thing is, if you're ticking all those boxes, then just go for it and make a difference in the world. Yeah.